Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome back into the podcast. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. Guys, today I'm going to be giving you my buy low trade targets for Dynasty Fantasy Football, and it's a great time of year to start executing some trades for your Dynasty League because players are itching to trade. It's the offseason. There's been a whole lot of crazy free agency acquisitions that have really changed the outlook of a lot of teams, and most importantly, there's a whole bunch of players that are going to just absolutely skyrocket in value between now and the time the season starts. And it's a perfect time to get your hands on these players before their value goes up and you're not able to get them. So I'm going to get right into my list, guys. But real quick, if you have not already, go down and hit that subscribe button below. If you do enjoy my content today, make sure to give me a like, as likes help my channel tremendously. Okay, guys. I'm going to start with the first player on my list, and that's Rondale Moore. Okay, a lot of players probably aren't big on Rondale Moore because he's undersized. He's only 5'7", but look, this guy runs a 4.29 40. He's got game-breaking speed, and we saw last year when he actually gets to be featured as a target hog wide receiver that he has more than enough capabilities to produce wide receiver one fantasy numbers with Kyler Murray throwing him the ball or whoever might be throwing him the ball in the future. This dude has the potential to be a wide receiver one in an offense, and in the absolute worst case scenario, a wide receiver two. So this dude is going to be a very fantasy relevant player in his career. And right now he's going around the 10th or 11th round in a lot of startup drafts. And people just aren't that big on him because they haven't really seen him do much yet. But anybody that's paying attention to football and fantasy football, last year you saw that Rondale Moore is an absolute weapon. So you need to get your hands on this dude while you have the chance. His value is going to absolutely skyrocket once everybody starts seeing him produce early in the season this coming year because, look, a lot of the opportunity share has been opened up due to Christian Kirk not being on the team. So he's going to be fed the rock a whole lot more, and he's going to produce awesome numbers. So get your hands on him while you have the chance. Next on my list is going to be Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney is going to be the target hog for the Giants this coming year. We saw last year when he actually got to be featured as the main receiver in the offense that he is clearly the best wide receiver on this team by a long shot. I mean, it's really not even remotely close. This dude is the best receiver on the team. He's going to be featured as the number one weapon in the offense this year. And I see him going, 9th round, 10th round, 11th round, 12th round in startup drafts. He is massively undervalued right now. He's going to have a huge breakout season, thus presenting you awesome immediate value and great long-term value. So grab Kadarius Toney while you have the chance. Next on my list is going to be Jalen Hurts. Okay, guys, people are down on Jalen Hurts because they don't think he's a very good passing quarterback because he hasn't really shown to be a very good passing quarterback in his young career. But here's what we've really learned from fantasy, especially over the last 2 years of quarterback play, and that's that quarterbacks that can run the ball and present you awesome rushing upside have an amazing floor-ceiling combination, whether they're good passing quarterbacks or not. We see it on a week-to-week basis with Lamar Jackson. We see it with Taysom Hill and guys like that. If a quarterback has awesome rushing upside, they give you a great floor-ceiling combination, whether they're a good passing quarterback or not. So he's massively undervalued. He's going to be a very good quarterback for fantasy, as we saw last year. He's still very young and has a long career ahead of him, and there's always the chance that he becomes a better passing quarterback as his career progresses. So if he does become a good passing quarterback to go along with those rushing upside, he's got incredible upside as a quarterback. So grab Jalen Hurts while he's undervalued. Next on my list is going to be Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is a huge gamble, guys, because he doesn't really present you a whole lot of long-term value, but as far as your short-term value players, Devin Singletary is going to be really good if he gets to head the Buffalo Bills backfield. And this is why I say that he's a gamble, because there's always a chance that this is going to be a committee backfield, and if it is a split backfield, Devin Singletary is not very valuable for fantasy. But right now, he's really the only running back on the roster that they have, and so it looks like he might get to head the backfield for the Buffalo Bills. And if he gets to do that, we know how good the offense is, and he therefore has awesome upside and could be a league-winning running back this next year. Keep in mind that there's a huge risk involved because he might not get to head the backfield, but if he does, he's going to be a monster. Next on my list is going to be Micheal Gallup. Okay, we've got short-term value here. We've got long-term value here. He is 27 years old, so he still has another good 3 or 4 years in the league, and now he's finally going to get to really be featured in an offense. Micheal Gallup flies so under the radar as a wide receiver because he's never really gotten to have enough of target share percentage to really shine in fantasy football because there's so many passing weapons on the Cowboys. But a huge percentage of the target share just opened up now that Amari Cooper is not on the team. Micheal Gallup is going to get fed the rock like crazy this year, and people are going to see how good he is. His value is going to absolutely skyrocket between now and the time the season starts. And after the first 4 or 5 games of the season, when we see how good of a wide receiver Micheal Gallup is, he's going to be absolutely untouchable. So this is one of the biggest priorities in the dynasty trade market, guys. Get your hands on Micheal Gallup. Next on my list is going to be Alexander Mattison, guys. Alexander Mattison is always awesome when he fills in for Dalvin Cook. He doesn't really have the athletic intangibles that Dalvin Cook does, but he's almost just as good for fantasy as far as producing fantasy points whenever he fills in for Dalvin Cook. So this dude is a gamer. This dude can ball. Whenever he gets his chances, he makes the best of them, and he is a very talented running back. We know that Dalvin Cook is an injury waiting to happen. So every single year, Alexander Mattison is just an awesome handcuff to have on your team because we know that there's going to be those 4 or 5 games of the year where he fills in for Dalvin Cook and gives you like a week winning performance and just absolutely goes off because he always goes off when he fills in for Dalvin Cook. Not to mention, he's still very young, and if he ever gets to head of backfield, he has awesome fantasy value. Next on my list, final player is going to be JuJu Smith-Schuster, guys. JuJu Smith-Schuster is now on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs don't have Tyreek Hill. So he is going to be the number one weapon in the offense. I mean, not the number one weapon, but the number one wide receiver. Travis Kelce is going to be the number one weapon in the offense, obviously. But he is the number one wide receiver on the depth chart, and he's a great receiver at making contested catches. You got to figure being on the Chiefs offense, he's going to get a lot of red zone work because they're going to be looking for that dominant wide receiver in the red zone. JuJu Smith, due to his contested catch ability, is that guy. He is going to be the red zone target hog for this team. The offense is still going to be very good despite not having Tyreek Hill. They're still led by Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. This is going to still be a high-powered, high-scoring offense, and JuJu Smith-Schuster is going to absolutely feast and have a field day scoring touchdowns this year. He is massively undervalued right now because, look, he provides not only the short-term value of being on the Chiefs offense this year, but he only signed a 1-year deal, and he could either get re-signed by the Chiefs and go off, in the future being on the Chiefs offense, or he could get signed to a better team and be even better because he's going to absolutely explode this year as far as fantasy production, and then everyone's going to want a piece of JuJu Smith-Schuster. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning into the video, and I'll catch you later.